Hello, hello. Welcome to Sparkle Sanctuary. I'm so glad you all joined me today. So I wanted to share 3 tips that I have for you to make your diamond painting a little easier, more enjoyable, or a little less frustrating. And so I just wanted to kind of give you some things that I do in my personal diamond painting that I've learned along the way that I think, I know one of these, some other people I've seen do, but I've not seen the tips from these other 2. And so I just wanted to share with you my thoughts and things that I do that I don't typically see from other people, that maybe you might not know. I know that there's lots and lots of tips out there for diamond painting to make this an easier and more enjoyable hobby. And so please seek any of those out. And if you would like to know more, if you'd like to see me provide more tips and tricks, I will happily provide more. Just let me know in the comment section below. Either way, please make sure that you give me a thumbs up before you head out. All right, so tip number 1, I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to push these couple items aside and I'm going to show you the edge of this image. So right here, let's see, actually, this is a really good representation right here. Right here, a lot of people put washi tape around the edges of their diamond paintings. I am one of those people. I don't like the sticky around the adhesive around the outside edge of the diamond painting to show. I don't want it to get nasty debris in it. I don't want it to be showing. So when I am working on a diamond painting, I will put washi tape around it to kind of cover that adhesive so I don't have to worry about it. But what happens is this, we get the washi tape starts to roll up at the end of our canvases as we're working on it. And like our sleeves get caught in it, or, we'll brush it and they'll start to really, really roll up. I can see this side here has happened quite a bit, and then it ends up starting to pull further down. So I want to show you my very first tip, which is to get out like a little roll of Scotch tape. So this is just Scotch brand. I don't normally buy Scotch brand. I usually buy the cheap stuff. It doesn't matter what you have. You just take a little piece of tape like this, and then make sure you stay enough away from the edge of the diamond painting that you don't cover that, but make sure that you cover enough around the edges of the washi tape that you can stick this tape down, and that tape will stick to the canvas and beyond the washi tape, if that makes sense. So there you have it. That one stuck. So I'm going to pull this around and I will do this one a little bit more up close. So again, I pull a little piece off. Typically there is more fabric around the edges. And so the size of the piece can be a little bit bigger. In kits like this, I may actually pull a bigger piece. So I'll show you that next. But if I have a smaller piece, I will just make sure that this is down as much as possible. And sometimes they're really, really rolled up. But make sure you stick around the edge. And then there you go. It's stuck to the canvas itself. And then if there's any overlapping, I will put it there like that. So please excuse my nails. I did some tie dyeing with my girls and got dye underneath my nails. I apologize. They look hideous. Please don't look at those. Look at the canvas. So again, this is rolled up here on the edge. So I will make sure it's pressed down as much as possible. I did make this piece a little bit bigger so that I can show you. I'll put it here and I'll make sure it's really stuck to the canvas here, but then I will wrap it around the edges here. And if those come unstuck, which they can, depending on the canvas type, if those come unstuck, you just cut along the edge there and make sure it just sticks as much to the canvas as possible. So I will do this last corner here. Stick that down. And then I will wrap around the edges here. In fact, that piece could have probably been cut. But anyway, that's how that works. And so if you are discovering that your washi tape is kind of sticking up around the edges, and now see when I rub this, it's not going anywhere. The washi tape isn't rolling. It's not pilling. It's not doing anything. The washi tape just stays wherever I put it. And so that really makes it a very much more enjoyable process. The washi tape isn't as frustrating. It'll stick perfectly fine along here. It's always the edges that roll. Which I will say also, if you're a person that sections off your diamond painting with washi tape, because that's what I do as well, I will take just the tiniest piece of this, and I mean a tiny piece on the edge of that washi to stick it to the plastic on the canvas, and I never have issues with those pulling up or peeling up either. So just a nice, like easy tip to use, just a tiny bit of tape to kind of help make that a little bit of an easier process. So we'll move that aside. And I will show you the next tip that I have. So this tip is regarding your multi-placer. I love multi-placing. It's my favorite way to diamond paint. In fact, I use the multi-placer to single place. Now, this piece of putty is fairly fresh and new. And so it doesn't look very dirty, but a lot of times when you're diamond painting, you'll get to a point in your diamond painting work where the putty will get really, really dirty. and you'll almost feel like you don't have enough of it anymore. And so people will just automatically take out the putty and then they'll throw it away and get new putty. But I want to show you that you can one time, and you can't do it multiple times, but you can one time refresh your putty. So what I do is I take some tweezers and I will pull the putty out. You can see there, I got the putty pulled out, and one side of it is a little bit dirty, but it's really not bad. But once all the putty is out of my multi-placer, I will actually squish it together and do stretch and pulls on it. So I will pull it, stretch it, make sure I bend it, and try and get all of that dirtiness mixed in with the fresh putty. And I basically have brand new putty to put inside my pin. And then I will just take pieces of it. And however it is that you spend time getting your putty back into your pin, whatever works best for you. It could just be that you lay it out and fill your pin, whatever works best. I just try and get this in here. I like to just get my putty back in my pin quickly. So whatever works to get it back in there. I will say the neat thing about this is that when you stretch your putty out like that, it almost gives it kind of like air bubbles. And so sometimes I will end up with a slight amount of excess putty. So I'll just kind of take my pin and wiggle it back and forth to get the putty back in the pin as much as possible. It does make your putty a little bit more tacky. So if you have to for just a minute after you've done this, just take your multi-placer and stick it in the freezer for just a couple minutes, because the metal will make it cool really, really fast. And then it won't be as tacky. But there you go. Brand new, fresh, tacky putty in the end of your pin. And in fact, I actually have a little bit of overflow now that I didn't have before because the air bubbles in it. So I actually have more putty there. So yeah, that's a tip and trick that I like to use. That way I can, because the putty can be kind of expensive. It is a cost. And I definitely love using putty in my multi-placer. It's my favorite thing to use in my multi-placer. In fact, I don't even use the wax anymore at all. So I just wanted to share that tip so that you're not going through your putty maybe as quickly as you thought you needed to. Now, if you have an excess amount of putty and you don't want to reuse yours, absolutely. But I want to show kind of budget-friendly options here on my channel because I am a mom with kids and, I have to live on a budget too. So yeah, I just wanted to share that tip with you. That was tip number 2. So I will now show you tip number 3. So tip number 3 is kind of an oddball. This is one that I've never seen anybody use before. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody do the putty trick either, but this was something that I came up with fairly recently. So this is a trash drill container. Now, if you look at it, this container is kind of, I'm trying not to tip it too far, but it's kind of shaped this way, right? And so if I work at an angle on my diamond painting, because this is a cover minder, let me see if I can, hold on just a second. I want to dump out my trash drills before I show you. So my trash drill is a cover minder. So this is a magnet that you can take and you put onto your diamond painting and it stays, right? But if you work on an angle like I do, something like this works, but it doesn't work because the diamonds are potentially going to fall out as you're working because it ends up being tilted instead of flat, if that makes sense. So what I have done is I found a way to make this helpful for me and a useful tool that I can still use while still being able to work at an angle on my canvas. So basically, I am a person that works out of these jars a lot of times. I do have other kits that have other different kinds of kits, and I have an entire video of the different kinds of kits that I will utilize, and so I will link that below. But anyway, for these jar types, I wanted to show this. So these lids are actually fairly thin. And so what I will do is I will take the magnet off the bottom of that and I will put it inside the lid of my jar. And then I will put the magnet on top of that. So then I can take this and put this in my jar and then put that into one of the empty bottles in my my storage. And then that way, because my storage, I always lay flat, or if I tip it, it's barely at an angle, so I can turn this and it'll barely be tipped at an angle, but it is never tipped at the kind of angle like the easel when I used to diamond paint, if that makes sense. So, so yeah, I thought this was really neat. It sticks on here pretty well, and it keeps it less likely from spilling, and also still gives me a place to throw my trash drills. I will say I have a habit of just like taking my trash diamonds and throwing them onto my kit here. And so this is really helpful because it's just right there on the edge of my case, and it makes it so that my the rest of my diamonds stay clean, and I don't have to worry about any trash drills inside the case. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that tip. This I think is really neat. And then when you're all done, you just pull it right back out and, you know, take this off again and then pull the magnet back out and you are good to go. So yeah, if you kit up into bottles and you have a trash drill cover minder that you utilize, try this out. Let me know how it works for you, what you think. It doesn't have to be a round trash drill cover reminder. You just need to have the round magnets and it needs to be smaller than the lid of one of these bottles. So it could be any magnet, honestly. So like, just for example, I have this bigger cover minder. She is a fairy. I can just take the magnet off of her and put that inside, and then connect her to it, and it works on that too. So it doesn't have to be round, it doesn't have to be small. Any cover minder that you want to be able to hold on to. So if you just wanted to, make your kit look a little bit more pretty and have her sitting, like if I wanted to have this beautiful fairy just kind of sitting watching over me diamond painting, I could do that too. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed those tips and tricks. I hope you found this helpful or useful. If you did, please make sure you give me a thumbs up below and leave a comment and let me know if this is something that one of these tricks you would try, or if you've already done one of them before. So yeah, thank you for sticking around today. I appreciate having you here. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in my next video. Remember, wherever you go to take care of your mental health is Sparkle Sanctuary. And just make sure you're taking time to take care of you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.